Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my presentation. Uh, I am Nathan Bupta, and today I'm talking about machine learning with Python. Now, I know many other people talked about it, but I gotta bring it up. It's the only way. What is machine learning? Well, basically, it's the specific study of computer algorithms, certain programs, and certain setups how that can help improve automations through experiences and by using data. So basically, if you input data into this program, into the software, it will be able to learn and adapt based on that, just like how humans are. Where if I put my hand on the stove and it burns, I now know through that input data not to touch the stove. Some examples of this are speech recognition, which with that it can recognize voices and anything like that, like how Siri responds to "Hey Siri." I might have just set off a bunch of your phones, and when you say "Hey Siri," it recognizes your voice specific to that, and it will open. And image recognition, basically what it is when the program, you give it the data, which is images, let's say cats and dogs, you tell it this is a cat and this is a dog. And then to put it to the test, you put images of a cat and a dog, and it recognizes that this is a cat and this one's a dog. More advanced stuff of this is kind of like facial recognition on iPhones and certain other Android phones that scan your face and recognize if it is you or not based on the depth of your face or certain lighting and measurements and all that. And medical diagnostic, which basically machine learning is used to read certain data given to the clinical data that's given of certain diseases, certain problems that may occur in the human body, and this program will be able to, through that clinical data, read it and predict if someone will or currently has that same disease or symptom based on the symptoms at hand or visual data. So basically how machine learning works is first, of course, import the data. It has to clean up this same data, which basically it strips it down to its bare bone, what necessities that it has, and then it splits the data into training, like testing sets, so that we can tell it, hey, this is what it's going to be, this is what it's going to look like, this is what a dog looks like, and so that it learns, it becomes better. Then create this model, train this model, and then for it to make predictions based off of this data, and then evaluate and improve. So if it looks at a cat and says dog, that means you need to train it to know what a dog is this time. So some of the very popular, most common languages used in this is Python, R, Java, and JavaScript. These are the main ones that are seen widely used. Yes, you can use like C#, C++, all these, but these are the top tier ones. But one thing that may be scratching your head is why? Why are all these languages at the top? But more specifically, why Python? Why would Python be the number one in this whole ordeal? Well, I'm here to tell you. Python is just fantastic. It's awesome. It's a super basic coding language. It's simplified, easy to read. It's basically English. So as long as you know English, you'll know how to create this. You'll be able to do amazing things with machine learning. And also the library ecosystem is just awesome, because in other programming languages, you have to like dig through all this grum and grit, whatever, and sometimes some libraries may not have exactly what you have, so you have to go find more. But with Python, it's pretty straightforward. Libraries like matplotlib. It's straightforward. It's math. I don't know what lib is for, but then it's plot. It calculates math, helps calculate certain variables for you, statistics, and then helps you plot them, graph them in any way. And also with this language, it's crazy flexible. Just how you can articulate each function and variable, it's able to be twisted in so many different ways. Now, how do we get started? This is very important. Like, how would you be able to start baking without the necessary steps? Like, I'm not just gonna throw all the ingredients straight into the oven and expect it to be put together. So let's see how we can do this. So first we start out with the main libraries that are used. It's NumPy, it took me like 3 days to be able to pronounce correctly. It provides multiple dimensional arrays, which allows for better collection of data and organization. And then you got pandas, which basically makes this same data like a framework for it, kind of like Excel, where it's even more organized and set up. And then we got oh, sorry, my bad, it's matplotlib. It helps us create graphs, plots, which makes sense because we want to see. We can stare at numbers all day. We can stare at a 5 and a 10, but it's way easier to visualize it if we see it on the graph going from like 5 down here to 10. And then we got Skitkit Learning. It provides many common algorithms like decision trees, which it just allows us to be able to say, if this happens, these are your choices. This is what you should look at. This is what problems you should take a look at and to come up with a correct answer. Now, creating the environment is especially important for this. The best coding environment that I've noticed is Jupyter, just because it allows for easier testing in your code, because it's all listed. When you run your program, the terminal is right there. You don't have to have it open on the side or in VS Code kind of clouding it. But if you have multiple monitors, as myself, you can get away with it. Now, an easy way of downloading everything at once is Anaconda. So Anaconda opens up Jupyter for you with exactly how you need it, and it alongside it downloads all those 4 libraries that I talked about earlier. It just helps a lot. Now, to do this, initially you have to start downloading Anaconda. Of course, you install it, but once this is completed, just open up your terminal. Type Jupyter, just saying I'm using a MacBook in this situation. You open the terminal and type Jupyter Notebook, as seen right there. This will open a tab in your default browser of Jupyter, and it will look something like this. So through this, we will start having to create a notebook in one of our files, and most preferably desktop, just for your first time so you can visually see it there. But if you prefer it in documents or anywhere else, like a specific folder or file, go ahead and do it. You can never forget about Marcos. Alright, so some great examples of this is like Instagram, Netflix, Google, and Reddit. All these famous applications, they use Python to create their machine learning programs. Also, YouTube does the same thing. It's just I couldn't find a YouTube logo. I don't know. It seems like Google didn't have any. But all these famous applications and programs either implement it heavily or use Python in some way to assist with the machine learning, so that they can provide the best experience for people. And these are my references. Thank you, guys.